This session 5 of Diving into Research, talking about the IRB, which stands for the Institutional Review Boards. Just as an acknowledgement, my name is Delaney Anderson. I use she, her pronouns, and I am a second-year maternal and child health student at the University of Minnesota. I have experience with secondary data analysis, as well as I am the student primary investigator on an IRB-approved study. Now, that is just a whole bunch of acronyms, and we're going to walk through what they mean. But first thing, I do want to acknowledge that while I hope this is helpful to anyone who's watching it, I will be specifically talking about the IRB process at the University of Minnesota Twin Cities, and this is being recorded in November of 2021. And so with that, there probably may be some changes by the time you watch it. You always want to see the most updated information for your IRB program, wherever you might be. So to get started, I first want to start sharing my screen and really introduce that the IRB, there's a lot of information about it, and it can sound really overwhelming because it has a very long name. But the goal of the IRB is to protect people and to protect what's called human subjects. And we'll go through exactly what that means because it's not quite as easy as it sounds, but I will share this link in the recording video YouTube so that you can really walk through it and understand. But the IRB exists in many different forms at different organizations and institutions. So the University of Minnesota operates its own institutional review board. So does a different university and a different, but they all do follow these same guidelines and rules. And so the IRB really came out of misuse and mistreatment of research participants. Specifically, if you think about the Tuskegee study that ran on for many decades and didn't provide proper treatment to individuals being studied. It's a great example of systematic medical racism and just has a lot of really negative implications for ethics. And so the goal of an institutional review board is to monitor research with human subjects and to protect individuals. So your goal when you are applying for IRB approval is to make sure you can share how your research is going to not harm or minimize harm as much as possible to individuals you are reaching out to do research with. So to get started, I want to share with you that to find the UMN's IRB, all you got to do is Google IRB UMN and you will find their website. And their website is absolutely where you need to go for everything. I have never not been able to find something on here by going through their different pieces. So to start off, you may think, okay, well, I just need to submit immediately. And they do have a new study tab for you that runs through all of these different resources you may need to use. I'm going to first start us off with their human research determination worksheet, which I've already downloaded, that really lets you walk through and figure out whether the research you are trying to do is actually human subject research. Because if it doesn't qualify, you don't need to submit for IRB approval. And so they have this little flow chart that you'll follow through by answering these questions. And just as an overview, a way to think about it is that if you are not dealing with living people and not dealing with them directly, it is not human subjects research. So if you think about secondary data analyses, right, using, for example, the American Community Survey, where you can get 25,000 responses for individuals who had a type of exposure, but you have no idea who that person is and no way to contact them, that would not be considered human subject research. And so you can see here that there are two different regulations you need to check for: the Department of Health and Human Services, and then via the Food and Drug Administration. And so they first start by the Department of Health and Human Services regulations about these things are not research. So scholarly and journal activities, as well as public health surveillance, then biospecimen research, and operational activities for higher government things. Now, this question I think is really important if it is going to be defined as Department of Health and Human Services regulations. Is it an investigation searching for this information? Is it systematic that you have a plan and protocol? Are you going to contribute to knowledge? Meaning, are you going to share this? Are you going to make it public? And is it generalizable, that it's going to be universally or widely applicable? This is where quality improvement for like organizations or specific assessments for smaller groups may not be considered research because you're not planning to share your findings. So this is a worksheet again that you can work through. And if you have questions, the IRB is super helpful. You can turn this in and ask, have I considered this correctly? And it will tell you as such whether you qualify or not. Another important thing that if it does qualify as human research under the either regulations, it is human research under university policy, meaning you need IRB approval. You also have to determine whether the university is engaged, which they give you another worksheet, which I've already downloaded, to consider it. And it just relates about whether we are getting external funding and where the individuals are coming from that are either working on your project or who are participating as a research participant. So again, you see that there are these worksheets that the IRB prepares for you, and they have lots of them. All of these different ones that you can see and be able to utilize to figure out how exactly you need to design your study, whether it needs a protocol at all, how to format your consent. There are literally so many of them. And so I really encourage you to just read as much as possible before you start working on anything. For my own study, for reference, it's still ongoing now, but we really read through this website multiple times and took notes on the main big document they have, investigator manual. It's 123 pages, and I read from cover to cover multiple times because it's going to answer all of these questions and help you know how to do anything. If you ever have a question, you can absolutely come to this document first, and it will walk you through and hopefully give you answers or let you know who you need to speak to get this taken care of. So again, this is just via the IRB website. You can go to their Toolkit Library and you can look through their manuals, policies, forms, worksheets, checklists, and templates. So if you've worked through your forms and you know, okay, this is human subjects research, I can then go to templates and it can provide me templates for developing my social protocol, my medical protocol, or database data, all of these protocols, as well as it will provide you templates for writing your consent documents if those are required. And so genuinely, you can just download this and start editing it yourself directly. Another thing I really want to highlight that if you are at any point in your degree planning to do IRB research or participate in it, there are required trainings you need to do that well. So you can go to their required training tab and we'll let you know that if you ever want to become a principal investigator, the leader of it, you need to complete these trainings. If you're just going to be a researcher or personnel on a study, meaning you're working underneath the professor or with other students, you still need to do the CITI course. Tell you explicitly what you need to do and how to log into it via city training. So I would really encourage you right now to go register and take them and get them done. They're not something you can breeze through, nor should you try to. You really want to make sure you understand the content they have and how you can engage ethically with research participants. In addition to that, under Toolkit or under education and training, they also provide some extra resources about how to, if you have questions about things, about what HIPAA means, if you are doing medical research, what informed consent means, how to carry this on well. And so I really, again, this website has everything you could possibly dream of to help you. So if you've done your training, you've read all your things, you're ready to and raring to go, you can go to your new study piece and it will let you know the exact things that you'll need to have to submit a study, the determination forms, the protocols you need to turn in, and how to use ethos for students and advisors. Now, this document is really important as well. When I was developing my protocol with my team, we had this and that big investigator's manual right next to us the entire time, because students alone, except in special situations, cannot submit these studies on their own. You need to be doing this in conjunction with a faculty advisor. Now, in conjunction does not mean that your faculty advisor is leading it. You just need to let them know that they need to submit some things on your behalf. As I said earlier, I am a student primary investigator. So I am in charge of the study and I lead everything for it. I just keep my advisor updated on it. And whenever we've had to submit something to the IRB or get kind of liaison or engage with the university, my advisor supports me and vouches for me in ways. Say, yes, I am aware of what she's doing. These are ethical. These are in agreement with our objectives as a department, as XYZ. Is really just there to be your cheerleader. And again, a liaison between yourself and the university. So this guide specifically shares with you how to access Ethos. And Ethos, I'll show you in a moment, is the software that you use to maintain and monitor your IRB status, to submit documents, to engage with the IRB. And so it lets you know as a student investigator what you need to do, how you engage your advisor, what has to be submitted by your advisor, what you put in there, and then the advisor just clicks the formal submit button. So you don't need to send forms or documents to your advisor outside of like their normal reviewing of it. Like you can put everything into Ethos and they can edit it. So just to show you what that looks like, on the IRB website, you can go into Ethos login and log into Ethos, requesting an account, all of that. I have over here where I'm already logged in with my study, just to let you see what it looks like a bit on the backside. If you wanted to submit a new study, you would have that, but this is one where we are that our review has already been complete. And I really love, while you can see here this yellow highlighted that's complete, you can watch where it moves through the process. So it'll highlight where it is so you know exactly what your needs are or if you are waiting for it. And you can also see here our timeline. So you can see I created the study, I assigned myself as the primary contact, and then there's a comment feature where you can ask your advisor to come and submit. And you can see here my advisor, Dr. Stang, submitted it. They've received it. We were assigned a coordinator. They did the initial reviews. Then they told me they need clarification. Do not feel discouraged when the IRB reaches back out to you and it doesn't just immediately get accepted. It means they're doing their job. They're saying, hey, well, you need to reformat this. You need to rethink this. And we went through a few different reviews and edits before we were finally accepted. So don't get discouraged if they ask you to change things. They're doing their job. You want to be doing your work ethically. It's a happy work in progress together. And so you can see again that they asked for clarification. Then we resubmitted it. We say what we changed. And then again, my advisor had to submit it. They reviewed it. They let us know what they needed changed. And then it was finally approved. And so there's a really important part that once you're approved is when you can finally begin your study activities. Once we finish the study, we will also have to close it out. And so there is information on that for at the end of your study about closing it and saying, yep, it's completely done. And they provide you, again, information all on this website about how to close. So again, I hope this was helpful when you think about IRB, about where you can go and learn more. By no means, again, is this going to be comprehensive, but I hope this helps you see how you as a student can engage with human subjects research and how you can move forward. Thanks so much for joining us today. Again, we hope to see you at session 6 with Public Health Librarian Shanda Hunt, upcoming on December 9th.